So, whether it is to be eaten with ewagoin, akara, moi moi, stew, egg, or whether it is to be eaten with butter and tea or even on its own, Agege bread is an irresistible staple for many Lagosians. But how did this simple doughy fluff of goodness find its way into our hearts and on our tables? And what in the world has Agege got to do with it? Well, if you're interested, here's the history in 5 minutes. Now, as surprising as this may sound, bread is not indigenous to Nigeria. But before we get into how bread got into Nigeria, let's talk about the history of bread as a dish. A 2019 article by History.com suggests that humans started baking bread at least 30,000 years ago. Scholars say that the bread eaten by prehistoric man was a kind of flat bread made from grinding the roots of cattails and ferns to flour with rocks, and then mixing the flour with water before cooking the paste on heated rocks. But bread today has come a long way from ground plants cooked on stones. The discovery of leavening and the ways of grinding and refining flour helped evolve grainy flat bread into the fluffy, airy loaves we love today. But how did this dish make its way across the globe to the communities in West Africa that we now know as Nigeria today? Well, a 2019 Connect article notes that the first bread makers in Lagos were descendants of formerly enslaved people who migrated in the mid-19th century from Brazil and the West Indies to settle in Lagos Island. Many reports and even local bakery owners credit Amos Shackelford, an immigrant Jamaican, as one of the first, if not the first, to establish a commercial bakery in Lagos. Shackelford set up his bakery in Ebute Metta, right outside Lagos Island. The newly constructed Lagos-Ibadan Railway meant that there was heavy human traffic around Lagos Island, and Shackelford's bakery in Ebute Metta was in a prime location to take advantage of this traffic. Some reports note that Shackelford was soon crowned the bread king of Nigeria. But the question then is, why is this bread called Agege bread and not, say, Ebute Metta bread or even Lagos Island bread? Well, we have Agege, Ayokunu, and another unnamed but enterprising community leader to thank for that. Ayokunu set up his own bakery in Agege and gave his product the name Agege bread. Then, this unnamed community leader negotiated with the suburban railway for trains to stop in Agege, which meant that passengers on the train had easy access to the Agege bread and slowly fell in love and then became loyal to the product. Agege bread has a unique texture and taste that distinguishes it from other sweet breads in Nigeria. It is just sweet enough, soft, fluffy, and Shackelford achieved this texture by inventing the dough brick, a machine that industrialized the kneading process by processing the dough between a pair of rollers. This technology is still being used till date in large industrial bakeries. Retaining the texture of Agege bread has been a hard-fought culinary battles between bakers and the Nigerian government. In the 1980s, the government of President Babangida banned imported wheat, so bakers had to make do with Nigerian wheat, which at the time was not well suited to baking the softest or fluffiest of breads. Potassium bromate was introduced to the baking process to improve the fluffiness of the product. In 2004, the Food and Drug Agency under the government of President Obasanjo banned the use of potassium bromate as it was established as carcinogenic, which meant it had the potential to cause cancer. The Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria standardized the Agege bread baking process to ensure uniformity of product, which is why you'll find that Agege bread tastes almost the same even if you buy it outside Agege. This association also ensures that bakeries comply with the standards set by the Food and Drug Agency and also prescribes adjustments to the formula to ensure consistency of taste and experience through the years. It is not hard to imagine how Agege bread has grown and maintained a loyal market share. I mean, it is a relatively cheap way of filling the belly and providing sustained energy for the day's activity. Also, it is typically peddled by itinerant street hawkers who are just a shout out away from bringing you the comfort of familiar food. However, Agege bread is slowly evolving from mere street food to restaurant quality offering. For example, Danfo Bistro and Dives, a restaurant in Ikoyi, offers the nostalgic experience of Agege bread and ewagoyin for about 4,000 naira a plate. In comparison, the street equivalent of this meal would be about 500 to 700 naira. So let's play a quick game of Would You Rather. Are you one to just step out of your house and shout out a street hawker? Or would you rather eat a nostalgic meal in a modern restaurant? And what are your favorite things to pair with your Agege bread? Or would you rather it be eaten on its own without the distraction of any compliments? I'd really love to hear your preferred Agege bread experience. And until next time, cut! Well, that was a one-take wonder.